Yes. What's uh-oh?
What's uh-oh?
There you go. There you go. Yum yum. Bye-bye. Okay. So I guess just starting with the variables. Let me grab the
Sit up a little more.
functions. So where was the JavaScript? Here. So instead of this mess of nonsense, I was clever when I made it. I was impressed with myself. I did it in Excel and then copied it out. It was very impressive.
Oh.
It was in hindsight probably really stupid, inefficient way to do this. Where's your new one?
It's down at the bottom.
Found it. Okay. So I think I should be able to just do script. Okay. Type. Okay, so what I guess the question is that I had is how does this, I'm pointing at it like you can see my hand. How does this translate into getting into the variables in the actual table for the timesheet? So like, because for here is, I mean, that this makes sense right here because it's got the where you're doing this part for the JavaScript holiday because it's the totals. But the part that I didn't understand was what you were trying to do for here when you're adding them up.
Mm-hmm.
And what that was accomplishing.
Well, so I saw that underneath that, that you were like all that stuff that added 10, added all that. Oh, go up.
This stuff, this right here.
That stuff right there. That's what I was trying to replace.
Oh, okay.
Was basically just having a function that would iterate over all of the different pieces that you needed. So if you look at the function, you would give it a week because it looks like you've got all your different your weeks and the days and stuff, and then it just iterate over each day.
So each time, so for each of the days, it would do 1 through 6 for week 1, or 0 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2. So where was that? Oh, this is what I needed.
Yeah.
The PHP for. I mean, it could just be, I can just make it simple and do it single. Because if I can do it for 1 week, or 1 day, it'll translate for
the rest of them.
Everything else. How far down? I forgot how big of a mess this is. Okay, so I like this too, even though I didn't. The way that you organize you do the class type name. I've been trying to copy that because I like it's so much easier to read than my lines.
Oh
Where it's
yeah,
straight
yeah.
across. Value equals just do 8. Okay, so this would be the part where we start to get to the point where we replace it with an actual the JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
So
But you can like build out a dumb example and just get it on the page, and so I can see what you're going for. Because like before, when it was run on the PHP and the database, like I don't have any clue what it's even supposed to
right.
look like. So I was just trying to guess by your abstractions.
I bet that was exciting.
It was something.
What is
Oh,
that?
you're missing a quote. Yeah.
Text.
Could you bump up your font size just a little bit?
Better?
Yeah, that's better. Oh, even better.
So let's see. Yeah, I probably should open the table. Okay. I forgot where to put that. Much easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea here is, and I'm
Uh-huh.
missing a table. What table? Um, you have day of the week, and it just the loop that I have building goes Monday through Monday, and
Okay.
then I'm pointing at the screen again as if you can see my hand. This is just regular hours, so this will be auto populated from Monday through Friday for 8 hours. Sick time, vacation time, other time. I don't remember. Jacob. Overtime is one of them. And then this one is the total hours worked
Okay.
for the week. So obviously we're at 8, so this should equal 8. That's easy. I can do that. That's pretty simple. Um, the so this just repeats itself basically over and over. I guess I could just do yes, yes. So you have. I can just copy and paste a bunch of them. So you've got a week's worth of time, and then at the bottom you get another set of total for the week. And then at the very bottom you have a total for the entire pay period. So total pay period adds everything up. You get to see how many hours you worked, how many hours you used for sick time, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I need to get is so for each of these inputs, I lock them mostly for with jQuery. so that you can't edit them. But
Okay.
because they get populated from the database, like these you can edit because obviously you're going to change those. But like the totals input, I lock so that they can't go in and change their own total. I mean, you
Uh-huh.
could if you were really clever and you wanted to go into the editor and change your time, but nobody's going to do that. People struggle with printing. I don't think they're going to go into the inspector and change the time. Anyway, so the reason that I have this mess of uh, JavaScript in, where did that go? Here, nope, this one, is because the easiest way for me to get, so this is Monday's hours is A's, AA.
Mm-hmm.
So AA, BA, CA is all Monday's hours. So that would be all of these, too many tabs. All of these AA, BA, CA, DA, EA, FA totals. And so I was just building them there for the sake of having so each one's got a variable now that I can go and I can add up easily. And then
Mm-hmm.
also I can grab it down here somewhere. There's another big long mess of nonsense. Right here where I grab, okay, all of the regular hours is, I know those were all A and then a letter. And I know the vacation is all B and then the letter C and then the letter, etc. So on and so on.
Okay.
So the thing that I need to do with JavaScript to make it not take 4 hours to open is get this part here iterating over each week. So every time it generates a row, JavaScript should be able to go, what's the day of the week? And then, so like Monday, normal, Monday 1, normal, Monday 1, holiday, Monday 1, vacation. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I would like JavaScript to automatically create all the variables for these so that I don't have this vomit of nonsense here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can also edit it really quickly because if I realize that I don't want to do parse, I don't want to do floats, it would take me. I mean, that's an easy find and replace, but like I'd have to go through and change all of those and then
Right.
test again. I would like to be able to change it in one spot and break it in one spot so that
um, so one way you could do it is something that a trick that I've been using is I'll give my different inputs. Like you see how I say JavaScript week something or JavaScript regular
right.
whatever. So you just like everything that, like, let's say it applies to Monday.
Uh-huh.
Um, you could just say, JavaScript week 1 Monday, and give them all that. And I wouldn't do that, obviously hard code it, but for now we could.
Let me get rid of these.
Yeah.
Because we don't need all the max going. Okay, so JavaScript week.
Week 1, and you probably
Should be like day. Week 1, Monday.
yeah, if you wanted to be able to target the Monday stuff. Um,
And then this would be week. I've got that variable on the loop anyway for the PHP.
mm-hmm.
And that's easy to generate autonomously. holidays. Getting rid of you. NGO. Okay.
So now all you would have to do in the JavaScript would grab all of the inputs or elements or whatever that have a class of JavaScript week 1 Monday, and then you could do your calculation.
So would I have to do? So for that, would I have to do a new one for each row for each new day, or do I just have the JavaScript? Can I add that? I guess I could put the variable in there when it generates the JavaScript.
Right. When you're generating all of your HTML and the PHP, you can have that give you all the classes that you need for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. You can kind of create a template and then have your JavaScript or your PHP just stamp it out.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to look pretty once it's to the user. It just has to. As long as I'm able to edit it like I do with the functions here, it's just a matter of iterating over top of it. So, okay, so JavaScript one. What was the thing that you? And then from there, all of the stuff's easy to remember because it's all based on JS-week. And then I can grab all of the JS regulars.
Which is just your regular hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll sum all those. So you might. So do you need to? So yeah, you do want a separate field just for Monday, so you can total all of those.
Yeah, it gets stored in the database separately too. So.
Okay.
Because it'll take the full sheet that goes all the way Monday to Monday. It'll store it'll break down the table and store it as in an array that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 by 14.
Oh, so what might be helpful is why don't you in the script in your HTML just kind of make a mock array of what it would look like, of what your database entry would look like.
Okay, so like the I forgot how to do the array. What's the syntax for that?
It's just a square bracket.
That's right. So this is. I'm trying to think of how I did it before. How the heck did I do that? Bam. Nope, that's not it. Dang it. I was lazy and I didn't put the actual thing in there. I was hoping I'd have because I'd put in the timesheet, not the actual one. I have the actual array. That's the result, but not the. That's pretty much what it'll look like anyway. I guess so it'll be. That's not the right syntax for this for JavaScript, but it'll work. The concept's there.
So
I can make it readable, maybe.
So is that more like the PHP's version of an object?
Yeah. So object in PHP doesn't. That's the only way to do like 3-dimensional arrays, basically. I guess it would be 2-dimensional arrays instead of linear ones. So what it would be is I would have Monday through. It'd be Monday 1 actually. So Monday 1, that spot in the array is 8. This is actually zeros, not 8s. And the idea would be that when it goes to store it, it smashes it down so that it's linear, so that I can store it as a JSON object, and then theoretically pull it back out.
I'm gonna send you a thing in the little chat. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it will or not, but hopefully it'll let me and you type together is the idea.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Chat. Cool.
So now, yeah.
Ooh, exciting.
So now we should, I don't know if this will do what I want. Yeah.
It's exciting. It's like,
oh, no. Stupid 4 spaces. That's dumb. 2 spaces.
2 tab spaces. I'm going to set mine to 6.
Don't
8
you
tab
dare.
spaces.
All right, and then there we go. And
Oh, nice.
then
This is Sublime. It's a Sublime. At least that's what it says it is. It uses the key bindings from Sublime. Anyway, sorry. Distracted.
all right, there we go. That's what it looks like in JavaScript.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So we've got an array, and then inside the array is the object. And so we could grab another one. No. Don't help me that much. Sometimes editors are like, oh, let me autocomplete for you. No.
I'll finish it for you.
You're dumb. You don't know what I want. And then instead of Monday,
that would be Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Perfect. And so what that would do is it would create each variable. I mean, in theory, after the end result would be each day, regular, vacation, sick, overtime, holiday. And then I store that and pull that for the timesheet. The other, I mean, it gets iffy because there's a possibility that I'll actually end up storing everything as its own day, but the concept still remains the same. The way I store it is irrelevant. This is the way that it will go into the actual timesheet.
So yeah, so you care about each day because you want to be able to total the day.
Correct. And I need to be able to store the individual. So I need to be able to store Monday regular, or actually they care about Monday vacation and Monday sick. And it's not actually Monday, it's Fridays they care about. But they want to be able to run a report, which will be how I store it. But they'll be able to pull a report on here's how many people, this is the people who, here's how often you've taken Friday off sick or Monday off sick or whatever. But I can store those individually if they're not arbitrary letters.
So maybe instead of Okay, so this is going to bother me. Array. All right. So array 2. Another way would be we could have I don't know if we want to call it this, but no, that's not what I want. I want to say name is week 1. No, don't autocomplete. So dumb. I'm going to turn that off.
Oh, it's in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then we would just say we would have another property called hours, and that would basically be a separate object, and then you would just have regular 8, vacation 0, etc. And the reason is if we can avoid having very, very specific properties like this, we can have a function that will just very naturally iterate over it.
Right. So would it make, so if instead of doing week 1, would it make more sense to do, because of the way that we're going to be calculating and storing it, would it make more sense to, I'm pointing at the screen again, the anything that's so like regular hours, and then anything that's got the JS regular class gets total, because it'll only be the 14. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Yeah, Monday through Monday. So the name of, so for, instead of week 1, irregular, this is day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. All the way through the end. And then that way it's being, so each object would be one group of either regular hours, sick hours, or total hours.
Okay.
Would that make more sense than trying to do the full week at a time?
I mean, we can iterate over it however you
Just
think
trying
it
to think
like
of the
makes
most
most sense.
natural way to get over top of it without having to. But I guess.
So, let me make sure I'm at the right spot. So, we're going to be given, I don't know, but then we're going to calc total of like by each week or by each day?
Both.
Total of day, calc total of week, and that'll be multiple actually, right? Because it'll be by a pay period.
Yeah, so 2 weeks or 14 days.
So we'll be given all of the specifics.
No, let's, for the sake of the getting all the stuff, let's assume that it's blank.
Okay, so we're not given really anything.
Correct.
Okay. And they'll input all of the specifics, and then we just generate the total.
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, then we can set up the array however you want to deal with it, really. Whatever makes the most sense to you. I just, yeah, if so, then we would have another object that, why does this look funny to me? I don't know why. Oh, that's because I'm doing it in the wrong spot. We would do it right here. We would have name or type or whatever we want to call it, and this one would be vacation. And then we could have day, Monday, 8, Tuesday, 0, Wednesday, 0. Like so.
So the question for this would be, if we do it this way, if we start like these, is there an easy way to grab? So if I do regular hours Monday through Monday, is there an easy way to total all of those, or would I have to iterate again over top to get that for it to do the calculations?
To do for each separate week?
Yeah, well, for each separate type. So you have regular hours. At the bottom, there'll be there's a total for total hours, and then so like for normal week, you have 80 total hours or 40 total hours, or if you take 2 days of vacation, you have 16 hours of vacation total at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you can add I mean, you could decode it, I guess, and grab the numbers out of it to do the math.
Um, well,
I mean, that's an issue. That's another problem to solve, I think, later. I think the way if I can get to the point where if it's building this off of the input, I will be happy.
yeah, so we need. So the only thing we're doing is calculating the total for each day and calculating the total of each week and then like a grand total.
Yep.
And then, all right.
I mean, worst
Total.
if we can get the total of the days, the total any of the two sets of totals, it's easy to grab just to add those new variables up. Because if you make them inputs, have JavaScript auto populate the input, and then now I have a new input that I can add a ID to.
Mm-hmm. So
Which is what I did originally.
will the number of inputs remain consistent?
Yeah, it'll always be 14 by 8, or however many types of hours there are.
Yeah. So yeah, then all we really need is yeah, we might not even need these special arrays. All we really need to do is think how we want to label things in the template. Like so down here with the different classes and stuff. As long as we've got a way, shorten it down. To grab all the inputs that are associated with Monday for week 1. And no, I don't like that. Because when they type, we probably want it to like auto be updating, right?
Yeah.
Ideally.
That's what it's doing now.
Yeah. So we need to have event listeners on every single input. So yeah, we do want to have some kind of model for our data. And then every time that they input, it updates the model, and then the model will then update the totals, is probably what we want to do. So yeah, so then we do still need to come up with some way to organize our data. So yeah, do you we could, I don't know if this is a good idea, but we could have let me just create another array. It's technically an object, but ignore it. Object one. We could say organize this way, and then have an array, and then we can have another way of organized.
So you'd build the templates that organize all the Mondays together, and then one that organizes like all the vacation together. Is that what you're thinking?
I mean, we could do it that way. Don't really like it though, to be honest. I kind of like the idea of having one source of truth, and then just updating everything off of that. So yeah, I think we just need to choose the way to organize it, and then our functions will just be based off of that organizational pattern. So we can build this array however you like, and then we'll just build functions that iterate over it.
Over top of that specific array.
Yeah, based off of however you want to organize it. So let's pretend, let's just build the functions right now. So function calculate day. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then we just pass in the day, and day is equal to, you know, a string like Monday or something. Just so we know that whatever day we're doing, you know, it doesn't have to be Monday, but
Monday's fine.
So then we would want to we want to grab all of the inputs, right? That have to do with Monday.
Right.
So we would do jQuery and grab everything that has. Oh, and we probably need to know what week to write.
Oh yeah.
Passes in. So week needs to be equal to 1 or 2. So it could just be a number. Now let's make it a string because we're going to use it as a string. So we want to have so yeah, we'll do grab the we'll do this the ugly way, since I don't know how old of a browser you're supporting.
They're up to date, Internet Explorer.
JavaScript dash. Oh, and we'll do it like this. Week 1. Plus week plus day. So this will actually be
Does
that.
have to be dash.
Yeah. Plus dash. Oop.
It's adorable when it tries to help.
So yeah, so then we'll have all the inputs related to Monday. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So then we want to just add up all of their values, right?
Yep.
So we want to save our total. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Oh, this isn't going to be a real. This is probably not a real array, so we won't do it the fancy way. We're just going to say var total equals 0, and we're going to say inputs for each, and then we're going to have an input. I'm going to need to write this the old school way, because again, you're supporting Internet Explorer. So then we want to say total is plus equal to the input dot value. And then we just want to return the total. So then the way we would use that is we would say, all right, so we need to access, array to, we need to also have another layer up for week 1 and week 2. So let's maybe.
What could you grab? We could do, since it's just for the total and the. No, never mind. You're right.
Oh, that's crazy. Why are you doing that? All right, so this is we would just say week 1 like that.
Oh yeah, since we only need 2, we don't have to.
Yeah, I mean we could just and then we would just need to duplicate this. And then just change that to be week 2, right?
Yep.
Why does that look funny to me? Because I don't need this. I have an extra curly brace, I think. I broke something. But anyway, we would say array 2 at week 1. Oh, we don't have a spot for the totals yet. We could just say Monday dot total, or just say Monday, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because you're in week 1, so.
Yeah, so then we would just say calc day, and then we would pass in week 1, or week 1, however you put it in your HTML template.
Right.
And then Monday. And then we would have what I like to do is say have some kind of function that just says update view and just boom, like it's really what we would do. Yeah, so then I would just say so this would probably be inside of an event handler. So we would say um, input dot on input equals a function, and then it would probably have something like this inside of it.
So every time they update it, it's doing.
Yeah, so every time they type, it will calculate the total and put it inside our array / object thing.
So for that event listener, would it make sense to do all the calculations every time, or should I have an on Monday input?
Well, yes.
For the sake of speed, or I mean, it can't be taking that long to actually do it, but
yeah, that's a good question. We could.
I mean, I could play with it. We don't need to do it now. That's pretty easy to pull out or whatever, just to create a whole bunch of listeners or some sort of.
No. We don't want to do that. That's silly. That's more repetitive code. We don't want to do. So what we could do is say this. We've got this input, and we know that it has. We could give it. I don't know if you've used data sets at all, but it's like custom attributes basically. So you would say data dash day. We could say
I don't see you anymore.
you don't see me typing
no,
anymore?
I see it there. Bam.
Okay. So we could just basically, I guess we don't
Create
need.
your own.
So you could say always update week 1 Monday. And this can be generated within the template as you're spitting out all the fields.
Oh yeah, because I've got the week 1 coming out and Monday coming out. So
yeah, so that can just also get thrown in there. So that way, when you do your event handler stuff, we could just change our function, and instead of doing this, we could just say input dot dataset dot day. Yeah. So then instead of weekday, we can just say weekday. It'll just be one variable, and it just turns into that. So weekday will look like something like that.
So instead of I'll create the data day here.
Yeah.
For the weekday.
And
then, so how does it know that that's the data dash day is weekday 1 Monday?
So it will know that because we got it up here. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So
we can just basically take wherever we're generating this info and just dump it into here as well.
Okay, okay.
So that we know that like every time we want to update the Monday stuff. And then we can also have other attributes. So this could be data dash week. Like maybe we need to know that this is going to be not that. Maybe we just need to know that it's a week 1. So that way you don't have to like go into your classes or anything and like look up a special, like try to parse stuff out.
Oh,
You can
right.
just add your own attributes and say like, okay, every time that I need to update week 1, I know that I can just grab this data set dot week
That's
and it'll
magical.
have what I need.
So I can do that with I can do anything I want there. It can
Yep.
do data dash miscellaneous, whatever I want to do.
Yep.
And is always is that the syntax always colon? What's the,
Oh, it's supposed to be equal. I've been doing
oh,
colon because I just was in JavaScript mode, but it's equal. So it's just like other attributes.
and then back up here in the function, when I'm grabbing the calc day, I want to grab data set that tells it to look here. Day is there, and then that's what it'll put in.
Yep.
Week 1. Oh my gosh, that alone is magical, and that's browser that I can do that in IE.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's life changing. So then I could have. I mean, that would make it really really easy to do 2 separate functions. One for the total for the week, like the week's total, and then one for the day's total. Oh man, mind blown.
Yeah. So you can just set these custom um, attributes, these data set attributes on your different inputs, and then have that just fire off. So then you could also we could do something right to week 1 Monday. You could just say week 1 dot total equals have another function called calc week and do that, and then just tell your view to update. So then the other piece that we need to figure out how we're going to handle it is where we put this, because we don't want to have to hard code this. This needs to be um, so we could oh, you know what? Let's do it like this. I'm going to go back to the old way. So data day is Monday. We're going to go back to doing week and day. Input dot data set. Oops, typo. Data set dot week. And I'll show you why we're going to do this. So week equals week 1. So weekday plus the little hyphen guy. Oops. Plus day. All right. So that's fixed again. But the reason we did this is now we can do something magical. So instead of hard coding the week 1 and the Monday, you can, I don't know if you've ever used this before to access different properties, but you can say input dot dataset dot week right here, and then that will grab so that's the same as going array to dot week 1, and
because
then
it's grabbing that week 1 already from the data set.
Yep. And so then if you say input dot data set dot day, then it will grab Monday. So then you don't have to hard code this ever. So you can have basically this one function that you just put on top of every single input. And you don't have to write another event listener.
Oh, because it automatically creates all of the listeners for me.
Yeah, well,
or theoretically,
like you could just have the same function for every event listener for every input. So then what you would do is you would say var all the inputs equals input. So you have all the inputs, and then you would want to say all the inputs dot for each input, and then you would just say input dot add. You don't even have to do that. You can probably just say on input or on change or whatever. And then just, basically just do what we have right here. Just move this. Right there. And then just type it in so it looks pretty. And boom. Like that will grab all of the inputs and then put this event listener on it, and it will work.
So this right, this set of code there is what every time I create a new input down here, this will automatically attach that function to it. Okay, I think that makes, man. I'm as we're going through this, I feel like we've gotten like my 550 lines of code down to like 12.
That's the goal. That's the goal. So yeah, we need to swap this out and instead say input dot data set dot week, and then you could say total right there. But yeah, so then you just need to have an update view function that will generate the view. That, like, this will be your template that will generate all the HTML constantly.
Should I do that instead of PHP, or does that matter?
I would keep it in your JavaScript, because then JavaScript should just handle everything, and then you only need PHP for talking to the database.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so then we would, basically instead of having all of this being generated in your HTML, your JavaScript will generate that. So you would do something so basically we'll say we probably say var week 1 equals generate week, and we'll give it 1 for week 2 equals generate, oops, generate week 2, and then we would do do something like container.html. That would be week 1 plus week 2. And then plus, I guess, you might have another row called totals or something. I don't know. So you can have our totals generate totals. Keep fat fingering that. Something of that nature. And then, man, why does it keep tabbing? Oh, that's why. Because we're inside that script tag. Function generate week. It's gonna take week number. Like that. And then basically you're just gonna probably say something like generate day and pass it. So
yeah, because I've got to build the pay period based on the day of the date anyway. So
yeah, so then you could say generate. Man, I keep fingering that E. Generate day Monday. I'm not going to do it for all of them. But then you would just say return Monday plus Tuesday, etc. Tuesday. So that the syntax highlighting is happy. So then, again, we would go down another layer, generate day, and then day, and you would say something of like var row equals something, 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 and then you would return that row. We're going to call row HTML, so that makes sense. So you would say equals, tr, and then plus td plus day plus br. Also, I don't know if you know this, but this slash thing is totally irrelevant.
I'd wonder that. Like, it gets like I've seen some places that like are like swear by it. It's like what started that? Because I'd always done it BR since I learned HTML in high school, but then I saw people using BR slash for compliance, I think, but
it's not even compliance. So the slash is a crossover from XML. It's not even
that's what it was.
So technically, this is not valid HTML. Like the HTML parser just ignores this slash. Like it accepts it as like I'll ignore it if you put it in here, but it's not.
Absolutely
It
not
does.
needed.
It doesn't do anything at
I
all.
hate typing it too, so it's like my least favorite thing to put.
Yeah.
For
So you don't have to. There's no reason to do it. I started doing it because Reese is like, "Oh yeah, we should do this," because that's what you're supposed to do. And then I actually looked it up, and I'm like, "No, it's not even a thing." Um, so you might look into using template literals instead of what this old school way of doing it. So I want to comment this out so I can show you what I mean. Um, so you can, if they're using a modern browser, instead of using normal quotes, you can use the backtick,
uh-huh.
and then you can have multi-line code and just basically plop in your HTML. So I
Oh, so I could
can
drop the whole HTML in there, like
so
I
I
do.
can just yeah just grab. Boop, boop, boop.
What's that called?
Template literal, and you just use the backtick, which is the symbol by your one. It's on the left side.
Oh, you use it for that's what you use for MySQL.
So, and then if you want to insert, uh, if you want to insert a variable, all you have to do, if it'll highlight for me, is you do $ curly braces, and then you just drop in your variable name.
That's
So
fantastic.
you would
I mean,
just,
that's a lot like that's. I mean, this is essentially right. This what you built there with this is essentially what I was dropping from PHP. So it's not that much different.
right. It's
Wondering
not
if
much different.
it'll work in 11.
Yeah, it should work in a modern browser. I forget how far back it doesn't go.
Let's see. It looks like as long as you're not doing use strict, it's fine. Oh, here we go. Temp literals. 0 out of 5. IE11. Awesome.
Um,
I would
so
be
yeah,
curious if it is, if I can get it to work. Why? What's the. I'll try it. It's not the big of a deal if I can't. It's just annoying.
or I'll just say week. Um, like that. There we go. Yeah, and if it doesn't work, then I could just show you how to get Babel set up, which will uh, let you code in modern JavaScript, and then it will compile down to like old school JavaScript.
That would be nice. It looks like IE11 recently added support for template literal for object literals. I'll play with it tomorrow and
Yeah,
see. I'm curious. I know we are like we're at this like awkward stage right now of whether or not we're gonna go to what's the new browser Edge
yeah,
because we can't because it doesn't Edge doesn't like right now we can't go to Edge because FileNet uses or Java and literally nothing supports Java except for Internet Explorer anymore. Um, even Firefox dropped it. Like you could download the it's like their equivalent of like a long-term support kit
hmm
for it, but they're like stop using Java. Just I'm like I agree, stop.
just stop.
Which it was funny because like when they hired me, they're like, "Yeah, you'll do a lot of Java development." I'm like, "I've done minimal Java development. I've done some, like having a background in knowing how to use Java has helped, but honestly, like if somebody came into this job, they could do the same exact thing if they'd never looked at Java ever and only knew how to program. Just because it's just tracing error logs basically has been all I've done, which it doesn't take a genius to figure out. It tells you exactly what in the file it broke, and then you just trace it back until you figure out why it broke.
Yeah.
It's
Let's
like
see.
fixing Reese's code sometimes. You just have to guess.
You just have to guess. Um, so this would be week, this week, like that. And then day, and then dot regular. So yeah, so instead of hard coding the values, you would be inserting them from your model. So since we called it array2, that's just why I'm referencing it, but you could be calling it, model or database or whatever you want to call it.
I'll probably just stick with array 2.
Or you could just call it data, um, whatever you want. But
So
yeah, so you would reference it. You would
so this is
grab
grabbing
the
that
V.
specific week. So array 2 up in here, week whatever. So we're in week 1 for the sake of this. Day, Monday, and then value is 8. So that this will equal 8. Right?
Yeah, so week 1. Oh yeah, so then we would probably type it like that, week 1 like that, and week 2 like that. And yeah, and so then we would need to say day. I forgot to put that in there. So dot day. There we go. That's more reflecting of how we were doing it.
And what's the
Actually,
dot regular? Oh, that's telling it that it's that. Would it be?
So we need to say week 1. So probably what we want to do is instead of have name regular like that, I'm thinking, hold on, I'm just going to new array var, and it's, I want to call it data because it's not going to be an array. We're going to have week 1, which is going to be an object, and we're going to have week 2, which is also an object. And then inside week 1, we're going to have regular hours, which will be an object, which will have Monday,
Each day of the week.
0, etc., etc. And then we'll have the vacation hours, etc., etc. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I like that organization better too because then you're going. That's more reflective of how the data is going to be laid out on the screen. So from top left to bottom right, you'll start week 1 Monday. Regular hours is the first blank. Week 1 vacation hours Monday, second blank. Moving to the right, and then when you get to the end, then you go back and start over. So your regular Tuesday, regular or vacation Tuesday, other Tuesday, and then go back. You're still in week 1, regular Wednesday, or vacation Wednesday, and it goes to all the Wednesdays. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I like that better.
So yeah, we could either do it this way, or there's one other way that you could think about it. It's still going to have week 1, week 2. And the other way would be have Monday
with each set of,
and then regular 0, vacation 0, etc.
which do you think makes more sense? I like them both better than the first two array ideas that we did, but
Yeah. I think probably data 2 makes the most sense.
yeah, because you're going by, that would keep each row as a new data set within week 1
Mm-hmm.
versus it'd be basically you're just defining it as a row
Yeah.
instead of as a column.
Yeah. And if that's the way that you're going to be, organizing the data visually, it kind of makes sense to do it that way. So yeah, maybe that's how we should organize the data. So I'm going to get rid of this other stuff.
I like it. And then that changes these things down here where it says like
Yeah.
array 2. It'll be,
We'll say data. So data.
so did I get this? So this stays pretty much the same right here, right? So I just changed data and then week 1.
I'm trying to scroll. It's just being slow. This is not the greatest of apps. Need to find a better one for the future. Come on. Oh. So yeah, we have data, we have week, and then instead of day right here, we just say day.
Oh yeah, because it's Monday.
And then regular. So that, yeah, and then it's good.
And then so just to make sure that I know what I'm doing. There, this will be and then as it goes through, so it goes through the full, builds the whole first week, or builds Monday, and then it'll loop back up, build Tuesday, loop back up Wednesday, Thursday, etc. Beautiful. Me like, yeah.
So yeah, if the template literals doesn't work for you, we can still do the template. It'll just be a little bit uglier, but totally doable. I'll probably, if it doesn't work, I'll just write it the first time using this template literal, and then Babel.js, I think is what it's called. You can actually just like they have an if you only need it like a one-time use and you don't need to install it, you can just input your code and say, hey, turn this into old school JavaScript, and then it'll just generate it for you, and then you can just dump it into your code. I'll find it so you can know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, is this? I got it up on my screen. I think. Is this it?
Let
What
me.
makes this?
Yep, that's it.
Us?
So if you go to try it out in the top in the nav.
Let's do it. It did it right here.
Oh, you just dropped it in. Nice.
Yeah, you drew it, and then it pops it out as the nastiness that is the old JavaScript.
Yeah, it can and generate it to be a little prettier. I don't know why it's not pretty right now. Oh, it's because we're not putting in all of the code, and it's probably getting mad. But yeah, that's fine.
So if I took the whole,
It's still not pretty, but that's fine.
Gross.
Yeah, that is gross.
Let's not look at that. I'll play with it. It can't be that. I just tell everybody to stop using IE for it too.
But yeah, that's the basic idea of what we're going for, at least.
I like it. I'll run with it and see what happens. I'm sure that I'll get confused at some point and come back. So as you go through so every time it's going through this generate week, the generate week will do the first chunk of block, loop back, next chunk of block, and it's basing it on the function for generate day. And then totals will be a whole nother one that is a different function entirely that's just calculating totals.
Right.
Based on, okay.
And it might not even need to do that because, well, yeah, it will. We will need to go in and
Total everything.
Total. Well, calculate day. Yeah, I thought we did that somewhere, but maybe we didn't. No, we did that right here. The total for the week. So we don't even need to do a week total.
Well, I have another. Oh yeah, because all I'd have to do is that would be one line of add week 1 and week 2. That doesn't need to be a function.
Yeah.
Just stick it in there. Awesome. I like it. Need to make sure that. Boom. Awesome. I'll play with it tomorrow and I'll let you know.
Yeah, and yeah, get as far as you can, and then if you run into some problems, let me know, and we'll figure it out. Because it shouldn't take much more except to just fill out the rest of the
I'd say once I get the
stuff.
generate day part done, it should be a matter of just making sure it works over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. I'm gonna get lunch soon.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think if I've got free time this week. I was free today. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was gonna be free till like 11:30 though. So that'd be weird. Come eat lunch with me in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I will let you know sometime this week or next week.
Okay.
We'll make it work. Thanks again, buddy.
Yep. I'll talk to you later, man.
See ya.
Bye.